With more than 60 million people squeezed into 25 million homes, the UK is bursting at the seams. And up and down the country, neighbourhood disputes are kicking off.
I don't care, because I don't live there.
It scares me and intimidates me so much.
Like living right next door to Hitler.
From arguments over noise...
It can go from somebody putting the washing machine on to very loud sex.
Parking rows...
No one should lose the house from a parked car.
And antisocial behaviour. Relations between neighbours are spilling over into frustration, anger and stress.
The only thing she's got is hate for us.
I'm so sorry that I didn't beat him all the way down the stairs.
But if next door's a nightmare, there is an answer.
No.
The mediators, neighbourhood negotiators who've seen it all before. Day in, day out, they deal with aggression, anxiety, frayed tempers and irrational behaviour.
You obviously see people in their worst situations, and hopefully you see them at their best when they come out the other side of it.
Bringing warring neighbours together.
Thank you, John.
And restoring peace to our streets.
It's fantastic. Best job in the world.
Coming up.
Bongo drums at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Snoring all the way through the night.
What happened next was a 3-year nightmare.
Stop!
Julia.
Stop
Julia.
now! Stop now!
Don't be swearing.
Oh, but it was all right when you was at your window doing this to me.
We're at a really difficult place, aren't we?
And in the middle of the bingo, she was calling my friend a tramp.
And you cross the line, right, you're dead.
With 14 years' experience as a mediator, Irene has seen neighbours fall out over everything imaginable.
Noise is the number one. It can be a dog barking, it can be music, TV, anything, but it usually involves noise. We did one that basically it was about a trampoline and privacy. It was a 16-year-old on it and he was allegedly urinating over the fence.
She works for Mediation Leeds, who deal with more than 300 community disputes every year. She's taking on the latest case with Aretha, a volunteer mediator with 10 years' experience.
Disputes and conflicts, you know, can get out of control quite easily. A lot of it's to do with human nature, really.
Having resolved over 100 neighbourhood rows, she doesn't shy away from any dispute.
The kind of cases that I enjoy the most, really, are the ones that are quite meaty, really. I've had people jump up in the room and try and grab the other person. I've had people throw things across the room.
But this latest fallout could be the biggest challenge this duo have faced so far. Meet 57-year-old security guard Tony. He rents this local authority flat with his wife, Ching.
It's one of the best little flats I've ever lived in.
For Tony, this place would be perfect if it weren't for one thing, his neighbour.
Moved in here last May, and after a few months I started getting bad noise from upstairs, basically. And it all started from then. Screaming at TVs, playing drums, stilettos on his laminate flooring. Basically, it's just noise, 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 and it's becoming unbearable.
Session musician Julian lives in a flat above, with part-time lodger Ben.
I'm a master drummer. I've been with Thompson Twins, Terence and Darby, Barry White, Simple Minds.
But according to Tony, it wasn't music to his ears, but the sound of a hoover in the night that kicked it all off.
I wouldn't fast asleep in bed because I go to bed at about 10 o'clock at night because I'm up at 6. And suddenly, at 11:30, Hoover goes on. To hoover up on a laminate floor sounds like a chieftain tank.
This is the level of my hoovering. I take the broom and I sweep up, and I have a cleaner that comes here, a Colombian cleaner. So, like, this is the noise that he's discussing. Because this is what I do.
And it comes a lot louder when he goes into the bedroom, believe you me. I had no option. I had to try and calm it down because it'd broken my sleep again. And you can see it's mark on the ceiling where I banged up.
And this noise would last for 5 minutes because I would have swept up. I hear them playing noise. I hear them slamming doors. I don't go and complain. You have give and take, right? You know, and in this case, it's just take.
But the hoovering was just the beginning. Tony then began to hear what sounded like drumming sounds from upstairs.
He can't even hear that downstairs.
And when you're suddenly woken up by somebody playing bongo drums at 2 o'clock in the morning, it's just not on.
This is what his complaint would be about this. Yeah.
It's not a musical noise when he starts on drums. It's this repetitiveness of as always trying to fit it into some kind of musical tune. But it's over and over and over again, the same thing. It's very monotonous.
In Julian's opinion, though, Tony's got nothing to complain about.
And even that I don't think it's loud. If I was someone who's playing at that level and that kind of talent upstairs to me, man, listen, I would not complain. Somebody could play like that, I would freak out. I'd come in and, God, you're good. Not come up and talk.
And Julian's adamant that the real noise nuisance isn't his hoover or his drums, it's Tony's nose.
He is snoring all the way through the night. The room rattles. I think his bedroom is downstairs. It's almost as if he's sleeping in the air.
I'm fully in agreement with Julian regarding my snoring. I do snore loud, but same as I said earlier, it's because I suffer from severe sleep apnea. And I tried to fix that by going to hospital and getting a breathing machine, because I actually stopped breathing 37 times an hour. Hence the big snore when my body's saying, you better breathe or you're going to die.
But it's okay for him to snore all night, all the way through the night, and I'm supposed to accept this. So I find that terribly, terribly disagreeable.
As the months passed, the volume increased, along with the tension.
Well, we heard his lodger, the young lady with the stilettos on the floor, where every step she takes, everybody can have slippers. I'm wearing slippers now, and I don't need it because I ain't got laminate flooring, but I'm wearing slippers because they're comfortable. My wife tells me she actually hears them having sex, and every conversation they have, my wife hears it.
Many women come here. It doesn't mean I'm having sex with them. And yeah, girlfriends come here. It's none of his business.
One night, Julian's bathroom cabinet accidentally fell off the wall. Tony went upstairs to have it out with his noisy neighbour.
I actually banged loudly on the door. He never answered for about 5 minutes.
He was banging the door. He banged like this.
He opened the door, then moved back. I explained, I said, look, Julian, you can't over up at 11:30 at night.
And he said that I'd make a noise.
But Julian felt all the noise was coming from Tony.
He then turned around to go back down the stairs, and I said that there is someone snoring all night.
I don't want to fall out with my neighbours, but I won't stand back and be trodden on.
So basically he said, it's me and I can't help it. He can't help it, but he's up here to complain about a cupboard falling off the wall.
But Tony wasn't prepared to leave it there.
It carried on, so I actually used the local notice board in the communal area, and I put a notice up, actually named him, hoping that he'd knock on my door and we could speak about it. It was screwed up and left in front of my door.
If he's going to put my name on a poster, right, he's going to put my name on a poster, one would have thought he would have Googled me. I'm a public person, I'm an entertainer. So I find that extremely dubious and concerning, you know.
He thinks I'm a silly old man, but I'm far from that. I'll take the Housing Association and Mr. Sabiro to court. I don't want to fall out with my neighbours. I want to be a good neighbour, and I want my neighbours to be good to me. It's not my problem, I'm not creating the noise now.
With legal action threatened, it seems an impossible situation. Mediators Irene and Aretha join forces, knowing two heads are better than one when trying to crack a tough case.
The first visit is to speak to the neighbours and to find out what the issues are for them. We have to hear both sides of the story.
But before they've even started, Julian already has doubts.
I personally don't think it'll work.
Whenever they say it's never going to work, that's like a red rag to a bull for me. I just think, OK, then, let's have a go at this.
Coming up.
It's a no-brainer to play drums inside a flat.
It's been horrible for me because I wasn't able to sleep at night. I weren't eating.
It was soul-destroying. No one should lose the house from a parked car.
I want him to come as a nasty, dirty, disgusting neighbour that he is.
In Leeds, security guard Tony is at loggerheads with his neighbour, musician Julian. For almost a year, Tony says late-night hoovering, excessive bongo playing and sex noises emanating from the flat above have been depriving him of sleep.
In a way, it's like a noise crime. It's just not on.
Whereas Julian feels he's the one being victimised, mainly by Tony's deafening snores.
The room rattles. It's almost as if he's sleeping in here.
It's down to mediators Irene and Aretha to end this dispute.
Hello, Mr. Stent. It's Irene and Aretha.
OK, love.
Thank you.
They want to persuade Tony and Julian to meet face to face and work through their issues. First stop, Tony.
Golden rules of mediation: never take sides.
With the pleasantries out of the way, Irene and Aretha get down to business, piecing the background together.
It sounds as though you both moved in about the same time and things were bad right from the beginning.
Yeah.
I know you said that there's drumming on a night. What kind of times would that be?
2 o'clock in the morning. I went up first time, banged on his door and said, this was when he were hoovering, and I said, what are you doing hoovering at 11:30 at night? Do it at a normal, you know, a proper time. And he mentioned my snoring. Then I thought, well, I'm not a machine, I can't turn off. Then he started his drumming business, and he should know that it's a no-brainer to play drums inside a flat.
After 9 months of what he feels is unreasonable noise, Tony's thinking of taking legal action. But Irene's keen to point out that won't necessarily solve his problems.
The other thing is, you know, that neighbour might move out and you might get a young couple that play loud music. We always say that if you can find a resolution or come to some sort of solution with the neighbour that you've got, better the devil you know. And are you happy to meet with your neighbour?
Yeah. Any amicable resolving it'd work out fine because both parties are happy then, aren't they?
It's a massive step. By agreeing to meet Julian face to face, Tony seems prepared to build a bridge.
Well, hopefully, both parties will come to some sort of agreement that will help them to move forward.
But Irene and Aretha need Julian to show willing too.
Can we explain the process for the joint mediation meeting?
I will not be interested in talking to him. I'm not interested in making his acquaintance, okay? But what I'd like to know is, I'd like to know what his reasons for the build-up of this scenario. No, hold on, let me finish. I don't want him to sit down there and start being a nice person. I want him to come as a nasty, dirty, disgusting neighbor that he is. I want him to come as the person I have to deal with day in, day out in this edifice.
It's not the reaction they hoped for. It's clear this won't be an open and shut case. Mediation is all about finding a solution to a disagreement that works for both sides. It also allows disputing neighbours to avoid costly court action.
We have cases that get referred to us. They've had a morning in court for £7,500 and they come to us and we do a day's mediation, it's resolved and, you know, they've saved so much money.
Elaine's feud with her neighbour shows just how devastating a day in court can be. 5 years ago, she and Mick moved into their dream home in Yorkshire. Perfect apart from one thing, parking problems.
That's sort of the thing that used to happen quite often.
Constantly having her car blocked in, Elaine decided to start parking it on a pathway around the back.
That's where we used to put a car there.
But Elaine's neighbour felt her car was blocking access to his garage.
His issue when this car was parked there was that it was difficult for him to be able to park in his own parking space. It wasn't impossible, but it was difficult.
Convinced he was overreacting, Elaine ignored his complaints. But after several months, things got serious.
And then I received a letter from a solicitor.
Elaine was accused of illegally blocking her neighbour's access.
What happened next was the beginning of a near 3-year nightmare.
A few months later, Elaine was summoned to court. Sure she'd done nothing wrong, she and her husband decided to represent themselves.
The judge decided that we could still take a car around to load and unload, but we couldn't leave one there indefinitely.
Elaine was ordered to pay her neighbour £800 compensation and his legal costs.
Engaged in conference, 30 minutes, £95.50. 3 letters written, £57.30. 3 telephone calls, £57.30. Glad I don't have their phone bill. By this point, it was £37,000. And the only way you could get it was with the house. That was the only asset that we had.
Tragically, just a year after buying her dream home, Elaine was forced to sell.
It was soul-destroying. No one should lose the house from a parked car.
Her life ruined by a parking dispute, Elaine can't help but wonder what mediation might have achieved.
I really wish that we could have sat down and discussed this. An ideal solution to both parties surely could have been worked out, and I do genuinely believe it could have been worked out. I miss my house.
Over at Mediation Services Manchester, Nita and Michaela have been tackling neighbourhood disputes for just 3 years. But in that time, they've seen it all.
I think from doing this for a number of years, in a way nothing shocks me anymore.
The issues can seem quite superficial, but there's a bigger story behind that usually.
They're taking on a case in Oldham, where 2 families are embroiled in a bitter feud. 77-year-old Frances moved into this rented house with her family 11 months ago.
I moved down here and there was no trouble. Everybody was friendly.
Living directly across the road is 49-year-old Anne. She and her family have lived on the street for 21 years.
When they first moved on, I know for a fact nobody on the street liked them then. There was only us what had talked to them.
But any good feeling evaporated over something quite trivial.
Frances wanted to buy a pair of curtains off me.
We're old they were, and all ripped they were.
They're brand new with tie backs. So she said, right, fair enough, I'll give you something for them.
And she said, I want £20. So I said, no way.
Frances said, yeah, to buy the curtains, but her son said that we were... She's an old age pensioner, you're not charging me, Mum. So he threw the curtains back.
Well, we left it at that.
And that's how the argument started, over a pair of curtains.
You're popular today, aren't you?
Me?
Yeah.
Drawn into battle were other family and friends. Anne had the help of her daughter's boyfriend, Kieran. while Frances gained support from her son's partner, Tina. But it was at the local bingo hall that hostilities spilled over.
This is where we used to go to bingo.
3 on its own, number 3.
They barred us on account of the incident, but we're not bothered now because we go to another bingo.
4 and 6, 46.
We went to make a bingo, and Frances and Tina was there, accused my friend of hitting her with a bag.
And I said, "Have you got no manners?" And she said, "Shut up, you tramp, you prostitute."
And in the middle of the bingo, she was calling my friend a tramp and a prostitute, and they were asked to leave.
And we got a letter to say that we were barred from bingo.
Other neighbours have taken sides, leaving a tense atmosphere.
You are nasty. You're a nasty piece of work. You and her.
We are not nasty.
I'm a nasty
We
piece
tried to be polite with you.
No, yeah, because you're on telly. That's why you're being polite.
Oh, no, we weren't. We spoke yesterday.
I haven't spoken to you. I don't like you. No one likes you. You're just there to cause trouble.
You caused trouble on us as well.
Back down your house, smooth.
Don't be swearing. That's disgusting, that.
Oh, but it was all right when you was at your window doing this to me. Jog on.
You turn around and
Shut up and go away.
Things have got so bad there have even been alleged threats of violence.
They've had somebody coming up in a taxi threatening us on the door.
Oh, when I see you, I am going to write you off. And Tina, and you are, ma'am, the hunchback, smelly old cow. Trust me, you're going to get it.
But it's not just neighbourhood relations that have suffered.
It's upset us. It's made me feel poorly.
It's been horrible for me because I wasn't able to sleep at night. I weren't eating or anything. I'm on antidepressants.
Mediators Nita and Michaela faced the difficult task of repairing this fractured neighbourhood.
People are different everywhere. We go into all sorts of environments, don't we?
Yeah. A lot of different environments we go into.
And you can't judge people by the environment that they're in.
Coming up...
No, I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to have it. Stop now. I will not have you telling lies here.
I don't want to be in the same room as her.
Done that. Okay.
We're not here to threaten.
Back in Leeds, Aretha and Irene are struggling with the noise dispute involving snoring and bongo drums. The mediators have persuaded Tony to meet Julian in a bid to settle their differences. But Julian's having none of it.
I won't accept it, and also my lawyer won't accept it.
And for the past hour, he's been complaining about Tony.
You know, he has to stop. Otherwise, if he doesn't stop, I will stop him. And I know he won't like it.
But nothing has prepared Irene and Aretha for just how incensed Julian is.
I could get rid of him like that.
Or how far he's prepared to go.
I'm so sorry that I didn't beat him all the way down the stairs. He came up here to beat me up, basically. I could have opened the door and knocked him out.
Right.
I used to box. If you cross that line, you're dead. and you cross the line, right, you're dead. Right?
Why does it have to be so severe?
Because you know where you stand.
It doesn't always have to be that severe, does it?
Control yourself, Julian, because he's trying to get you going, you know what I mean?
It sounds as if he's actually succeeded, really.
No, he hasn't.
After 2 hours of listening to Julian's complaints, Aretha tries to explain how meeting with Tony could bring an end to hostilities.
Have you met with Tony before to talk about any of this properly?
No, I don't know him. I do not know him.
So therefore, when you have the joint meeting, that is the opportunity. You are willing to meet with your neighbour. We are only...
I don't think I'll be interested, to be absolutely honest, Red. I don't tell lies, and I will not be interested in talking to him.
Irene and I will encourage you to bring to him some of the issues that you're having a problem with, all right?
Well, I'm not really having a problem, but I'm not going to grass up the girl next door for making noise. I'm not, I'm not going to do it.
Julian, where do we go from here? Are we having the joint meeting this afternoon?
Of course we are.
Okay, then.
But I'm actually there to just listen.
Right. Can we just close this now, all right, and make arrangements for the joint meeting this afternoon?
Of course.
All right, and then take it forward from there, because I'm assuming that that's what you want to do, is take it forwards.
Julian finally accepts meeting Tony is the only way to settle their differences. But Irene and Aretha know that if his aggressive attitude continues, it could threaten the entire mediation process.
I think sometimes when people feel that they're backed into a corner, I think it's probably one of their defence mechanisms, really, to start sounding off threats. And essentially, it's for Tony and Julian to get together, because at the end of the day, they're the ones who have to come up with some sort of agreement as to how they're going to move forward.
We can't change the past. We can only help them to change the future.
In Oldham, mediators Nita and Michaela have been sent in to try and end a bitter feud between neighbours Anne and Francis that began over a pair of curtains but has torn the neighbourhood apart.
Ah, hello.
First stop is a visit to Francis and Tina to hear their version of events.
Could you tell us what's been happening and when it started?
Well, all it started was over a pair of curtains.
Having filled them in on the stress of recent months, Francis reveals a previous attempt at reconciliation.
Over the last, 3 or 4 weeks,
well,
what's been happening?
They asked us if to come and apologise to us. They said, "Oh, we're sorry. Will you let it drop and let's be friends again?" Well, I wouldn't take it, me.
But Nita tries to get Francis to see how things could change if apologies were exchanged.
So if you think about your life from now on, how do you see the days and weeks in front of you now? How would you like them to be?
Peaceful.
Peaceful.
I want her to leave us alone,
right.
Let her get on with her own business, and we get on with our own business.
Okay.
Francis is adamant, though, that she won't meet Anne face to face.
I don't want to be in the same room as her.
So Nita has another suggestion.
And we do have another option, which we call a shuttle meeting, where we visit you, and then we visit your neighbour, and we give you your neighbour's responses, and we do that a few times until we reach an agreement. How does that sound to you? Would you be prepared to do something like that?
Be fine.
You feel that'd be fine for you?
I would like you to tell her that we don't want any more trouble. Want it all forgotten. I'm willing to apologise to her for what she said to me. I say, let it drop. We're both been to blame. We've both said things.
It's very, very clear what you're saying, that you're prepared to move on.
For the mediators, it's an encouraging start.
She actually came out with, "I'd like you to tell my neighbour that I'm sorry." And I thought that was absolutely brilliant. That just makes a mediator's job feel so satisfying.
But Francis is still to be convinced her neighbours will be as willing to forgive and forget.
I don't think it'll make any difference. I think they'll still be at it.
Back in Leeds, Tony's sick of being kept awake by noise from Julian's flat above.